Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We are jumping right back into the Project Grandpa truck build. If you are just joining the channel for the first time, first of all, welcome. We are on episode 8 today. If you want to go start from the beginning for the build, I'll put the link to the first video up in the corner here. But today we're going to be doing some very important things. We're going to be doing our fuel upgrades. We have new injectors. We're going to be upgrading the 19-pound stock injectors to 60-pound Deatschwerks injectors. We're also going to be looking at a large fitment issue with the turbo kit that I have that I came across. Now, fitment issues were to be expected because this kit wasn't meant for my truck. It was meant for this body style, but not for this engine. It was meant for the 4.6 liter V8. Mine is the 5.4 liter V8, which is a wider, taller engine. So we'll go into that in a little bit. Thank you guys for tuning in and spending a little bit of time with me today. So let's get started. So jumping right into it today, guys, I took out all the old coil packs. 8 of these are the original coil packs. 2 of them are had been replaced over the years. But I had a third that was starting to go out right before I started doing the build. Because of that, because the coil packs were starting to go, I didn't want them to start going one by one while I'm trying to tune the truck. Chances are, with my luck, that another one would go on the dyno with the stock coil packs. Because of that, I am putting all new coil packs in along with the injectors. And while I have the coil packs out, I also decided to recheck the gap on the spark plugs. If you remember, I did a... Oh, and by the way, this is what spark plugs look like when you get moisture down in your... These were brand new plugs. This is what they look like when you get moisture down in your spark plug holes. But they look like crap, but they are still brand new. So I took them out to recheck the gap. My tuner suggested a gap at 28 thousandths. So that's what I did. I had them at 30 thousandths, which was, I mean, pretty close, but since I was there, I wanted to get them exactly where the tuner wanted them. So I've already done the injectors and coil packs here on the driver's side. You can see the old ones were big fat yellow ones, and I'll grab a new one here. Oh, and big shout out to Deatschwerks, by the way. I ordered my injectors through Summit Racing. Let me see, the part number on here. Yeah, so apparently if you're ordering these 60-pound injectors, this is the Deatschwerks part number. You want the part number with the -01 here instead of the -00. Because apparently the 00 does not come with these little adapters to adapt it from the connector on the Deatschwerks injectors to this style of connector, the stock style connector here. So if you get the part number with the 01, they tell me it'll come with those adapters. But they were super great to work with, Summit Racing and Deatschwerks. I called Summit Racing. They got me right over to Deatschwerks customer service. Deatschwerks just said, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. You need these adapters. They dropped them in the mail, sent them to me at no charge. They're a US based company out of Oklahoma City, so it only took a couple of days for them to get to me. So that was great, really happy with them. Anyway, enough of that. I was gonna show you the new injectors here, get you a little side-by-side of what they look like. So there's a stock injector, 19-pound injector, side-by-side with the Deatschwerks 60-pound injector. You can see the body is much skinnier. It's obviously the same height, and then with the adapters, makes this connector a little bit longer, but I've had zero issues getting them plugged in. You can see right there the factory wire harness plugged right into that adapter. No issues there. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna jump over to this side. You can see the yellow injector is still in there. I don't have any coil packs on this side. They're all sitting here. Got to get the spark plugs in there. Then we're gonna get that fuel rail pulled off and get those injectors replaced, get the new coil packs in there and get it all buttoned up. A couple of new things since the last video is I have the wastegate bolted up here. Got the wastegate dump here loosely fitted, which looks really cool. It goes down there, snakes around that AC line just fine. It ends up landing right in the corner of this body mount and the frame rail. So that looks absolutely perfect. Looks like it's still gonna tuck behind the factory fender liner if we end up being able to put it back in anyway. Let's talk about this fitment issue for a second. So if you look over here, we were bolting this up last time, and to be honest, this was completely my fault. I was so caught up in trying to get the crossover pipe modified and mounted that was the only one I test fitted. And now that we're onto the down pipe, there we go, much better. So now that we're on to getting the down pipe through here, you can see it still fits in between the pipe and the frame rail back there, but we are nowhere near being able to match up to here because this engine is at least an inch taller than the 4.6. We're hitting the body with the down pipe here. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut up my freshly ceramic coated down pipe. Eric from Racing Ram Fam is gonna come over and modify this section so it meets up with the down pipe here, unfortunately. So I got a little too excited on getting things ceramic coated and getting moving that I didn't properly test fit the down pipe. So that was my fault. Not a big thing. Obviously it's nowhere near fitting, so it's a big fitment issue, but I know Eric can get us taken care of. Make sure you go subscribe to Racing Ram Fam. He has been an absolutely huge help in getting this project taken care of. So that's the fitment issue. Let's jump right back into getting the fuel system upgraded. All right, so we got all the spark plugs in on this side. No coil packs yet because the coil packs just kind of get in the way when you're doing the fuel injectors. So I went ahead and got the old fuel injectors out of there. You can see the fuel rail is just hanging out here. I will mention it's a lot easier if you unplug these PCV hoses. I had some bad rotten ones last time I did the plugs in the coil packs, and so the 90-degree ones, they'll tear really easily just because they're old and kind of just getting brittle. Anyway, so the fuel rail's out, so I got the 4 injectors here. Make sure that the O-rings come out with them. Some of them did not, so I went ahead and used this pick here to just grab the O-rings out of the fuel rail. So now we're gonna go ahead and get these new fuel injectors in here. Like I mentioned, these are the 60-pound injectors from Deatschwerks. So they even come with this little pack of super lube synthetic grease for lubing up the O-rings on the injectors. So that's really nice. If you don't have that, you can use clean engine oil. I've heard that works well too. But so let's finish up getting the injectors in here, get the new coil packs in, and get it all buttoned up. Okay guys, so got this side all wrapped up now. So you can see, get the light down here. You can see all those new coil packs in there. So here's the coil packs, nice shiny tops on them. And you can see at least you can see the injector plugs down here. So everything's all in place now. The passenger side is finished up. Got the PCV hoses hooked back up. The front end of the fuel system is all done. All we have to do now is get the new fuel pump and the fuel tank, and I think the fuel system should be good to go. Something that I didn't mention before is I got the new... Hi, Stella. I got the electric fan shroud on, and that fit actually really perfectly. So the way that one works is it just slides right into these little grooves here that the stock fan shroud comes out of, and then you use the stock hardware to bolt the top of it in place here. So pretty soon we'll have some electric fans in there. I got to figure out what we're gonna do as far as electric fan controller. Kit doesn't come with one of those, so either get one that runs off it's got a little temperature sensor on it that you run off the coolant system somewhere, or a manual one with a probe that goes through the fins. I'm not really sure yet. I got to look into those a little bit more. So things are moving along quite nicely. Another thing I did, this was actually the first thing I did before I started doing anything, was I got the serpentine belt replaced with a brand new one. If you listen to the truck in the videos where I did the 0 to 60 time and where I raced Eric in his in Betsy, the big Dodge. The truck was squealing when it shifted gears. The old belt was all cracked and pretty old, so I got that replaced. Now I don't have to worry about that anymore. Like I said, that was one of the first things I did. So one more look at the mess down here that we got to fix, or that Eric has to fix. Yeah, I gotta get that guy lined up. And remember all that work I had to go through to get that thing lined up? Well, I had to undo it again to get that pipe through. So shoot. So that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Not a lot of big things put on, but upgraded fuel and new coil packs are gonna go a long ways in getting us the horsepower that we want out of this thing. I gotta jump over, and we're taking the Viper up to Brainerd tomorrow morning early. Gonna be meeting Eric from Racing Ram Fam up there. Alex is gonna be up there, unfortunately, without his Talon because he got sent the wrong clutch. So be sure to go check out his videos where he just smoked his clutch. But anyway, we're gonna get the Viper out on the drag strip, so that should be fun. I've never been on a drag strip before in my life. And it's pretty crazy to say that I'm going to be doing it in my Viper for the first time ever. So stay tuned for that video. Obviously, we're going to be filming. We're going to get Eric's truck. Eric's hoping to get into the 11s. He raced today, but hasn't told me the times. He likes to save those for his videos, which totally understandable. Gonna do one last double check on everything on the Viper, tire pressures, check all the fluids, make sure it's all ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't watched the other truck videos, I have 7 other earlier episodes now. Feel free to browse the channel and check those out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.